It's always a special moment when we get to tour a Wally, and check out this brand new model. This is the WallyWhy 150, and it is not going to disappoint. We're going to give you the full tour, show you all around it. My name is Hugo Andreae, you're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go and tour. Now look at that styling. Straight away it looks unlike anything else on the water. Luca Bassani is the genius behind it all and is now part of the Wally group, and the Wally design team work with Luca to create something completely unique. And now we have seen the WallyWhy 200. That 200 refers to the gross tonnage. This is the 150, so it is 150 gross tons. But you will see just how much space there is on board a relatively compact yacht in terms of length. So let's go and take a closer look. We're going to start the tour at the stern of the boat. Now, I mentioned this being measured in gross tons, 150 gross tons. It is in fact just under the 24-meter load lightning, so it is around about 78 feet long, but you would never believe it once you get on board. Now, it starts with a very cool hydraulic central section of the platform. You can see how that all drops into the sea, leaving steps in its place so you can move up and down the yacht. But it's also very much part of the whole beach club vibe. You've got a sort of circular sun mat there. You've got a couple of little sort of cushions, poofs that you can sit on, a little table in the corner to rest your drinks. But of course you can also put the tender here. So when you're cruising mode, you'll probably have the tender here. When you arrive at your anchorage, you launch the tender, drop that into the sea, and that becomes the beach club. Now, everything about this boat is unusual. So straight away you can see these cutaway bulwarks. There is in fact glass in there, so but you still get a beautiful view through. We've got shore power cable attachments. Here are all the controls for the passerelle and the lifting platform and the lights. But look at this, you've got this sort of two-stage cockpit area. So you've got this upper level here, and you can see this can face both ways. This massive stainless steel hinge, beautifully set on carbon fiber molded backrest, so that whole backrest can swing over, and then that can face out to sea too. And it's very much about enjoying the view out from on board. You can see there is a boarding gate, a side boarding gate here, and look how thick those cappings are. Absolutely enormous molding. And that all plays into this very angular style. It is completely like some kind of alien spacecraft that has landed in the middle of a marina. Now, very deliberately blurring the lines between inside and outside spaces. These are huge electric doors, and they all retract inside this bulkhead here. So you don't even see that they're there. They're almost completely invisible. And it leaves an enormous opening. You can see it's all on the same level. There is no kind of step change, just that grated threshold so that if any water does come on the deck, it won't run into the interior. Super cool furniture, oval dining table with these very geometric freestanding chairs, tuck in and out on three legs. Nothing is quite conventional on board a Wally. Everything is bespoke, designer, unlike anything else. Now there is, I believe, a day head in here. Again, perfectly situated so that if you're using the outside space, there is a day head immediately as you enter the yacht. You don't have to traipse through the middle of it. And look at this deck head. It's like a huge wave shape. I'm not sure if you can see the subtlety of that. We'll try and show it to you from a few different angles. But that beautifully ribbed teak deck head has a kind of swooping wave-shaped curve to it. All part of the styling. Big central bar unit here. There is in fact a TV in here. There's a huge TV that rises up from this area here. And rather cleverly, it has screens on both sides. So if you're sat in the cockpit or at the dining table, you can watch this side of the screen, And if you're sat on this upper level here, you can watch the other side of the screen. So all of you can watch the same or different programs on those two huge screens. Now here's this rather lovely kind of cascade effect as you come down through the decks. We've got teak decks up on both sides. Again, not strictly necessary, but it all just helps with that feeling of flowing inside and out through the yacht. Big U-shape seating area here, sort of black velvet. Everything just feels super luxurious, super stylish. And if we come through here, let's start on this level here, because this is where the galley is. Now, there are two options here. If you're using this as a privately owned and skippered boat, just for your family, you can in fact have that open plan. You can get rid of that bulkhead there and have it open to the galley. If it's a crewed yacht, then you're more likely to go for this layout, where you come through and there is crew space and a much more kind of, not exactly commercial galley, but it's separate, it's private, it keeps it all away from the guests. But lots of space to work in here, really good sized induction hob, massive single sink, Siemens American style fridge freezer, all nicely stocked. Storage all very carefully concealed behind. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to open some of these. Of course, got to be a little bit careful because you never quite know what's meant to open or not, but once you've found how to open them, you can see there is storage all the way around. Big double width oven. Lots of storage for herbs and spices and so on. And that leads through from the galley into the crew area. And we'll just have a quick peek down here. It drops down right down into the bottom of the hull. You can see we've got two ensuite crew cabins. So there's a twin bunk down here, ensuite bathroom in there. Don't forget this is less than 80 foot long, so you can't expect too much of the way in crew cabin space, but actually another bunk cabin there and ensuite. So not an enormous amount of space, and it's all quite grey and formal and easy to look after, but they are both ensuite, which is what most crew are likely to care about most. And then if we come back out into the saloon, you can see there is access up to the bridge there. We'll come to that in a minute. I'm just going to quickly look through here if I may. This is the real reason for buying this yacht. This is the entrance to the owner's cabin forward. And all the way along this port side, there is storage for all the clothes. Big ensuite bathroom, twin sinks, bidet, loo, lovely teak-lined shower, big window. But check this out. This is why people are going to buy this yacht. This is the raised forward cabin, 270-degree windows all the way around. Absolutely fantastic. Big central island bed looking forward. Lots of storage space all around. I won't open these up, but look at that. Where else are you going to get a view straight through the bow of the boat? That is pretty special. And here too, you can see we've got the same ribbed teak deck head. Little dressing area, vanity table. Oval bedside tables. But really, can you think of a better place to wake up on board a yacht? Looking out forward over the bow, seeing the sunlight reflect off the water. Pretty cool. Right, let's work our way back. We'll have a look at the guest quarters. So you can see there is a staircase leading down from here, and this takes you down to the guest cabins. Now there's a choice down here. You can either have two big VIP cabins or three. This is the three cabin layout, and actually I think it's pretty luxurious even with the three cabins. Now this is the port side double, Now, bed is facing across the beam of the boat, but actually I almost prefer this to the WallyWhy 200, just the lighter colour scheme. We've got big hull windows. It's a much lighter feeling. I found the Y200 a little bit dark down below, perhaps because it was just moored in next to a load of other boats. But here you really get the feeling of light and space. Ensuite, naturally, very stylish black. You've got that matte black effect to all the bathroom furniture. It's not actually carbon fibre, but it looks a little bit like it because it's got that kind of matte black finish. Again, a teak seat in the shower, teak flooring. It's a really unusual mixture of, or way of using some traditional materials and some much more modern ones. Lovely curved suede effect bed head. And then on the other side, this is on the starboard side, we've got a twin set up here. So if you go for the double VIP option, then you get these two cabins joined together and become one big full beam mid cabin. But here we've got two decent sized single beds, same big hull window there, useful bit of storage. Ensuite bathroom here. Now these are all pocket doors, so you'll see that they slide across like that. It's a means of giving you the privacy without losing a load of space to a door that swings open on hinges. But very similar cabin here, bathroom here. Teak shower, loo, big mirror. And then back into that lobby and forward to the other double cabin. So I think this stays the same whether you go for 2 or 3 cabins. This is a good sized double again. Very similar to the other one. That curved suede lined bed head. Slightly longer, thinner, narrower window. But these lighter colours really bounce the light around and make it feel nice and airy and not too austere, which I think can be the case sometimes when you go for quite dark colours and contrasts. Ensuite bathroom here, that's interesting. It's actually full beam here. You can see we've got one window in the hull up there, and if I spin around this way, there's another one there. So this is a full beam suite. But because it's a little bit further forward in the boat, it doesn't have quite as much width. But a really good sized bathroom. Loo tucked away in the corner there. Same matte black sink and another big shower. I can't resist sitting myself down on that. Now that is a very civilised way to take a shower. Sat down on a teak bench, rain shower overhead, handheld shower down here, teak grating underfoot, and plenty of space. That is really very civilised. Right, let's make our way back up through the yacht. Show you the bridge deck. So come back out through here, and then we can make our way up. You see we've got an internal staircase here, and this is the business end of the yacht, and what a cool setup this has got too. I believe these are designed by Poltrona Frau. Really long, tall chairs, integrated headrest, carbon fibre moulding at the back. But just look at the view through that windscreen. It's absolutely mad. It's like you're on the cockpit of the space shuttle or some kind of Star Wars fighter. Absolutely extraordinary. Slightly daunting looking helm seats. They do bolster conventionally. They looks like they go up and down as well. They're at slightly different heights. But it's these extraordinary windows that are absolutely mind-blowing. The size of that wiper blade, that's got to be at least 6 foot long. The actual controls relatively conventional. It's powered by triple IPS engines, so you've got the standard Volvo throttles. You only have 2 throttles, even though it's actually controlling 3 engines. But that's because the central one is just effectively propulsion, and you've still got the outside ones doing the steering if you need them to do that. You have got the joystick control, so that will take care of all the positioning of the engines. We've got the 3 big Simrad screens. You can set them up how you want. You can have systems on one. We've got cameras on this one. You can have a peek. We can go anchor to port. We've got aft starboard, engine bow. You can see, keep an eye on everything that's going on board the yacht from here. Standard thruster, side power thruster, Humphrey stabilisation, got 0-speed stabilisation, so that will be the Humphrey electric fins, and then crucial buttons that you need quick access to, the wipers, blowers, horn, windlass, and searchlights and so on. Look at that. What an outrageous piece of carbon fibre moulding. And then a rather lovely daybed alongside. You can maybe whether the captain needs a bit of a rest perhaps when you're at anchor, or guests can join in there and chill out underway, and then steps up onto the Flybridge deck. So that is all enclosed. You can see that slides across and keeps that completely weatherproof. And this is the open Flybridge deck, all covered by equally stylish hardtop. This is all carbon fibre supports, again, to make sure it's not too heavy up top. It's actually got sailcloth inserts, panels, again, just keeps the weight down while ensuring it's still nice and weathertight. Bleached teak dining table up here, very nicely sheltered, so you've got the raised pilot house providing some shelter from the apparent breeze. There is access out to the foredeck on here. The foredeck on this is very much a technical working space, because if you remember, we're now on top of that main deck owner's cabin, so directly beneath us is that extraordinary owner's bow cabin. So this is very much a technical space. Got the anchors, the twin anchors, see one coming out each side. This is a long way up. I feel slightly nervous actually looking over the top of that. I'm not great with heights, but hopefully if I hold my hand out you can get a little bit of an impression of just how far down that is. And look at that view looking aft. I mean, it is just from another planet. And here you can get some idea of the scale of those wipers. It's well over 6 feet. They look about 8, possibly even 10 feet long. And those huge angular planes of glass stretching miles back. I'm not sure we've got access down this side. I think this is just for hanging fenders and lines off the top here. So there's no access back into the guest area of the Flybridge. We'll have to go back down the starboard side. And through this gate in the coaming, you can see we've got big glass inserts in there too. So nice and secure, nice and sheltered, and that's what keeps this dining area very nicely protected. So even if you're in a bit of a breeze, and it is quite a windy day today actually, that is beautifully protected. And obviously when you've got an apparent breeze underway, it will do up to about 21, 22 knots. It does mean that even then the apparent breeze will be blowing over the top for you, so you should have a nice sheltered lunch. And we've got an outdoor galley type wet bar here. There's a grill, little Kenyan grill, relatively small if you're feeding the full ship's company, but nice to be able to barbecue things. Small sink, lots of ice makers and so on in there. More storage under there, and I think there is a fridge in this one. There we go, you can see there is a fridge there. So all the essential requirements for a lovely outdoor lunch. And then another very cool sunbathing, socialising space at the aft end of this Flybridge. Check that out. 3 beautiful sunbeds. You can see these have all got weighted cushions on them, so you can rearrange them how they want, but they shouldn't blow away or move. They've got weights in them to stop that. Lovely sociable U-shaped seating area, all under the shade of that hard top. Completely out of this world. It's It's mad, but mad in a good way. Right, let's drop back down. See if we can have a quick look at the engines and give you a few cruising stats. Now, I did just want to point out, I forgot to show you earlier, when we were back in this saloon and this storage area here, it's worth just opening one or two of these drawers because you can see how beautifully that's all been fitted out. Every single knife and fork has its own little space on board. In here we've got all the plates, the placemats, all perfectly matching. All on soft close runners, little champagne flutes. Again, everyone has its own little space. That's all part of the Wally bespoke look and service. Right, let's see if we can have a little look down in an engine room. Might just have to open that. Don't think I can do it one-handed. So access is through this hatch in the cockpit. We'll gently make our way down here. Here we go. Nearly there. So, here we go. This has got the optional triple IPS 1350 engines. I think it comes as standard with the 1200s. Now in this spec it should be good for about 23 knots. It's not really about performance cruising. It's about medium speed, sort of cruising at somewhere between 15 and 20 knots. And using triple engines is actually said to be more efficient than using two bigger ones. So you have three slightly smaller engines with those very hydrodynamic pod drives underneath the hull. Here you can see the pods, so there's actually connected via shafts. That just helps keep the weight a little bit further forward rather than having all the weight aft. But they all steer independently. And it means that there's also a bit more space to move around. Rather than having two big engines, they're physically smaller footprints, a bit more space to move around. And looking forward under here, there is a Seakeeper 26 gyro stabilizer. That helps keep it nice and stable both at anchor and underway. We've got water makers up here. We've got the Kohler generator over on the port side. All the fuel systems. Right. Let's gradually make our way back and back out. Let's complete the tour of the WallyWhy 150 up here on that raised aft deck. Now I know the question you're all going to be asking, how much does it cost? And I would love to tell you the answer to that, but to be totally honest, I don't even know it. Wally are being a little bit coy about exactly what the cost of this craft is, but I think we can safely say it's going to be pretty expensive. This is very much a premium boat manufacturer. It's got a real designer look and finish. If you want to make a statement, there is nothing that will stand out in the marina quite as much as this. Really unusual, interesting boat. I've really enjoyed having a look around. Do let me know what you make of it in the comments. And as ever, thank you very much for watching.